Welcome back to the Emerging Tech Lab. Today we're going to be working with Dash and Dot. So remember, this is Dash and this is Dot. The way that you can remember between the two is that Dash can move around and drive, so he can dash around, and Dot stays still. So I'm going to tell you a few things about Dash. So meet Dash. He's a clever robot sidekick. He can move around. He likes going on obstacle courses. He likes dancing and making noises. He can drive forward, backwards. He can turn right and left, so he can spin. He has two wheels on the bottom that control what direction he goes, and then this one just helps him turn whatever direction you want him to go. You can control the different speeds you want him to drive as well. He has head motions, so he can look down 10 degrees. He can look up 25 degrees, and he can turn his head left and right 120 degrees. So he can almost turn his head all the way around. He has 12 LED lights around his eyes. Dot also has 12 LED lights around his eyes. You can control each of those lights to turn on and off. He also has lights on his ears that you can control to turn different colors. And Dot also has lights on his ears that you can control to turn different colors. Dash also has a light on his chest, and he has two red LED lights on the back, on his tail. Both of the robots can make sounds that are pre-programmed in the app, like elephant noises or sirens, all different kinds of sounds that are already pre-programmed in the app. But then you can also record your own sounds or your own noises that you want them to make in the apps as well. Dash has 3 microphones, so he can hear if you clap or make a noise, or he can detect the direction of your voice. And he also has some different sensors. He has 2 distance sensors in the front, so if an obstacle is placed in front of him, he can tell that it's there. And he also has 2 sensors on the back, so if he backs up and there's something there, he can detect that. He also has 4 programmable buttons on the top of his head. So the white button is the top button. So this button here, that's called the top button. And then notice these buttons have little dots on them. So this would be button number 1 because it has just 1 dot. Button 2 has 2 dots. And button 3 has 3 dots. And notice that Dot has the same buttons as well. And they work the same way. So you can program those to do different things. Dash and Dot can communicate through infrared signal. So you could actually program Dot to control Dash. So he could be kind of like a remote control for Dash. Now we're going to meet Dot. Dot he has a pretty funny personality. Some people think that they shouldn't play with Dot because he can't move around like Dash can, but he can do some pretty cool things. Like I said, he can actually control Dash if you program him to do that. So he can actually be the brain for that. He has the same lights on his eye and on his ears. He can do the same sounds, like I said, but he only has 1 microphone, so he can still detect if you are clapping, and he can detect your voice. He has the same buttons on the top that I just went over, but he also has something called an accelerometer in him, so he can detect if you're tossing him, if you're shaking him, if you're moving him, if you're tilting him one direction or the other, he can detect that as well. Now I'm going to show you some of the different attachments that we have. We have a bulldozer bar that can connect to the front of Dot, and then he can bulldoze things around and push them around. We have a cell phone holder, so you clip your cell phone in this little holder here. You can connect it to the top of Dash's head or Dot's head and have them make videos with them or play music, whatever you choose to do. We have bunny ears. They are just for decoration. They can be used with either one of the robots. And we have a tow hook. So you could connect this to the back of Dash and have him tow things, or you could connect it to the top of Dot's head and you could pick him up using a string or a rope. Then we have the launcher. So with the launcher, you would put a ball in the back, and then you would use this other piece on Dash's head, and he can launch a ball. We do have little targets that come with it that you could control Dash to go and shoot those targets down with the launcher. And then with Dash also, you can use a xylophone. So you would connect this mallet to Dash's head, and then you could program him to play music. And the only other one that I haven't mentioned can actually be used with both robots. These are the building blocks. And so you use Legos, and you connect them to the side of Dash or Dot's head, and then you can build things on top of those and be really creative with that. So those are all the different attachments that you can use with Dash and Dot, and I hope you guys have fun and enjoy learning more about how to program them.